You have with you Congressman Jeb Hensarling of Texas, and we're going to talk to him for a little bit. And I want you to do most of the interviewing here because I really want to know what's going on in their head and what's going on in the halls of Congress. Dana, go ahead.
That's right, Don. We are honored to have you. Thank you very much for coming, Congressman Hensarling. I just want to start with maybe the obvious question. You all made your point. You voted to defund Obamacare. It went to the Senate. They rejected it. Why bring us to the brink by doing something else that you know that Senate Democrats have already said is a non-starter there?
Well, what we're asking for is that somebody will sit down and actually negotiate. It's kind of our constitutional duty to have the power of the purse. And yet the president says, I'll negotiate with Iranians and Syrians and Russians, but apparently he won't negotiate with Americans if they happen to be Republicans. We want to negotiate. We're already negotiating what we said and what we're going to put on to the floor of the House of Representatives later this evening. Okay, fine. We understand you believe in your health care program, but it's not ready for prime time. I mean, just 2 days ago, the president was speaking about the rollout, and 20 minutes later, they have yet another delay on top of the employer delay. We now have the small business exchange delay. So regardless whether you believe in this or not, something as big, as important as our health care, something that we believe is harming the economy and economic growth, can we at least agree it's not ready for prime time? It's not even ready for a 3 a.m. infomercial. And so that's what we have asked. And importantly, there's at least one tax, a tax on pacemakers, a tax on artificial hips, that frankly 79 members of the United States Senate have already voted on. Harry Reid himself called it a stupid idea.
Which he corrected himself on, for the record.
What, was it actually a foolish idea, an idiotic idea? The bottom line is it's already been voted on. So were they against it before they were for it? Listen, lots of Americans are working this weekend. I don't understand why the president can't work, and I don't understand why those in the United States Senate can't work.
I'll tell you the reason that they give, and this is from Jay Carney just a few hours ago. He said, any member of the Republican Party, you, who votes for this bill is voting for a shutdown. Given the reality of the raw numbers, yes, you have the House, you don't have the Senate, and you don't have the White House. Isn't that what you're doing? Well,
maybe they're shutting it down because now they are against something that they've already said they were for. And in addition, the first United States Senator who's a Democrat, Senator Manchin of West Virginia, he says, you know what, we ought to delay the thing for a year. So the first Democrat, every single day that people are having to deal with Obamacare, it's getting less and less popular. I can't pick up my own constituent mail. I mean, just today I had a guy say, you know, I just got cut back to 29 hours. I had another constituent say, you know what, my health care premiums went up $1,500. Is this affordable? So can't we at least delay it because it's not ready? And why won't the Senate work on a weekend, and why can't the president get off the golf course and negotiate?
But even if they worked, it's still run by Democrats. That's what the voters decided in their states. And they're going to reject what you said. So I guess my question...
How do we know until we try? I mean, we have a Democrat senator already saying that he believes in delay.
And he says he's going to vote against it.
We've got one of the prime architects, Senator Baucus of Montana, calls it a train wreck.
Which
you know, that we understand that they rejected defunding. Well, here's something different. We're trying to be reasonable. We're trying to negotiate, and they're saying it's my way or the highway, and so aren't they the ones that are bringing shutdown? Well, obviously, the American people will have to judge. I hope it doesn't come down to that, but people care about their health care, they care about their jobs, and they want us to fight for them.
Let me ask you about fighting for them. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Republicans almost unanimously do not like this law. They didn't vote for it. They ran against it in 2 campaigns. But it's also clear, because some of your Republican colleagues have said so publicly, lots of them have said to me privately and others, that they didn't want to have this strategy. That the idea of attaching this to something as important as a bill funding the government is the wrong way to go, and they feel that they were pushed into this by your senator from Texas, Ted Cruz. So is there some truth to the fact that Ted Cruz has more power over your caucus than John Boehner does?
When you talk about a spending bill The last budget score from the Congressional Budget Office is almost $2 trillion. How can you sit here and ignore the president's health care problem if you're voting on a spending bill? This is part and parcel of a spending bill. In addition, I don't think you can talk to hardly any small business person in America who doesn't tell you that one of the greatest challenges they have is dealing with Obamacare, and it's small business that's the job engine of America. That's what brings in revenue. So frankly, I think we would be derelict, if not negligent, in duty if we didn't try to deal with Obamacare. Okay, we get it. We get it. They rejected defunding. So now we're putting on the table delay. And by the way, the United States Senate, they can be the slowest institution in America, and when they want to, they can be the quickest. They can snap their fingers and deem a bill. We've got all weekend. We invite them to come back from the golf courses and work on behalf of the people of America like we're doing.
What happens on Monday morning if the markets open and they tumble, or if they even get obviously spooked? Will that be enough to get everybody here spooked as well?
We're here. The House is
but
here.
Not just,
the Republican
but to be here
House
is one thing,
here.
but to vote to fund the government is a completely different thing, in a clean way, as Democrats want.
Republicans have voted to fund the government. We're going to continue to vote to fund the government. So it's those who, again, won't sit down and negotiate, who are using all this great hyperbole, who apparently aren't listening to the same constituents we are, that small businesses can't hire, and that Obamacare is not ready. You know, why have we delayed this for employers, but we won't delay it for employees? I mean, it's just crazy. All we're asking for, if it's not ready for prime time, Mr. President, don't foist it on the American people.
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate it.
Dana, before you let him go, I have to ask this question because I'm sure people at home are wondering the same thing. I hear over and over Republicans coming out and saying that Democrats are voting. They're voting to shut the government down. I don't understand that logic or that rationale. Can you explain that to me, Congressman?
Well, I frankly don't understand the contrary. Again, Republicans have voted to keep the government open. So thus, if they don't take up a bill, the main thing is we're trying to sit here and work and negotiate. The American people don't want the government shut down. But at the same time, every single day, Obamacare gets less and less popular. Okay, I understand we can't agree on defunding it, but can't we at least agree? I mean, if we have 1,100 different waivers of the program, if just 2 days ago they delayed again another key aspect of the bill, that being the small business exchange rollout, why are they imposing a program that's not ready on the American people? So
I understand that.
It takes two people, it takes two bodies not to come together and the president to sign it. You seem to be trying to cite only one party.
But no, I'm just asking the question because I don't understand, and many people don't understand, and many Republicans don't understand why you would say that Democrats want to shut the government down when Republicans are the people who are the party that's threatening to shut it down. But you answered my question. Hang on. You answered my question by talking about Obamacare and not. Go ahead.
No. You just made an assertion that my party was threatening to shut it down. So where's your fact? I haven't heard our speaker say that. I haven't heard our
You're the party that attached Obamacare to shutting the government down.
We're sitting here trying to, it's part of the budget. It's part of the budget. We are debating a spending bill. Obamacare is part of that. What you're saying, what you're
and who put it in that
perhaps
bill?
on behalf of your party, is that we just should take whatever the president or the Senate offers. Well, you know, I understand people elected the president. I understand they elected to have the Senate in Democrat hands. But guess what? The same people elected to vote the Republicans in the House. They expect us to negotiate. They expect us to negotiate in good faith. The president refuses to negotiate. The Senate went home for the weekend. And that's regrettable. There's time to work this out. But again, Obamacare is a key part of the economy, not just our health care, but a key part of our economy. It's a key part of our debt. I would hope, again, that the president and Harry Reid would want to negotiate in good faith. That's what we're hoping for.
Congressman, thank you very much for that. I have to get to the White House now because there is some breaking news, but you probably want to hear this. So, Dana, Congressman, stand by. I want to get